segment, we were talking about the lady whose child ordered, was it
70,000?
Yeah, 70,000 dum-dums worth $4,000. She's working with Amazon now to get her money back. But at first they said, no, you got to sell that off to some other sucker who wants these suckers. Yellowstone Sticker Girl says, my daughter once ordered $500 worth of hideaway pets. I had left my computer open, was going to buy her one for Christmas. She ordered small, medium, large multiples of each hideaway pet. I had to cancel the order, in which they were adamant, are you sure you want to cancel this order? There's $500 worth of it.
How old was the daughter, do we know?
27.
Well, that's a little odd.
I know. Well, but to each his own, and that's just how it
Sure,
was.
every family dynamic is different.
Also, hearkening back to the Demm report in the last segment, we had a Walmart theft of jewels, to which we compared to Ocean's 11. And Biggie said, I've got a great Don Cheadle factoid for you from Ocean's 11. Give it to me.
I do. I hope you all don't know this one. I just recently learned it, and I found it fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Don Cheadle, one of the stars of Ocean 11.
Yeah.
Uncredited in the movie.
Really?
Yes.
Well, with that fake accent, he should have been.
Used a British accent.
He did.
For no reason
Totally
at all.
unnecessary.
For no reason at all. Right.
Totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, apparently, if you scroll down on the IMDb page, he's like the 77th actor listed as uncredited.
Okay.
And he has a major role
True.
in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So he has never directly said this is why. He just said there were some things that happened behind the scenes that I didn't care for, so I asked them to take my name off the movie.
Really?
Yeah, so he didn't want any, he's like, I don't want to even be credited in any way for this.
Did he not come back for the sequels?
He did. Now, people through the years, insiders and such, have said what really happened was Don Cheadle wanted his name at the top of the movie poster with Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and Matt Damon.
Yeah.
And he was a decent star at that point, but the studio was like, no.
Not as big as those guys.
Not as big. So he said, okay, well, fine. Then don't credit me at all. I don't want any credit.
That movie has Clooney, Julia Roberts, Brad Pitt. I mean, to me, Matt Damon's not in that. He wasn't even up there. Yeah.
I mean, it's Clooney and Pitt above the title. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe Julia Roberts. But even then,
now
it's Pitt and Clooney.
Yeah.
He was credited in this because he came back for the second and the third. And I believe he was on the movie poster then because it was known more of as an ensemble.
Well, it was
movie.
an ensemble, but Clooney and Pitt really led the way on that movie.
But of course, when it's just the first Ocean's 11, you need those names to sell it. And they're like, sorry, Don, you're out.
Yeah.
Not
above the title.
No, he's never confirmed that, but that's coming from insiders saying that's what happened. That was his dealings behind the scenes.
Did you ever see a movie called Logan Lucky?
No, I've not seen that.
I have.
I highly recommend it. It's a fantastic caper movie. It's Channing Tatum basically plays this guy from the hills of West Virginia, and he decides to knock off the Charlotte Motor Speedway during the Coca-Cola 600, the biggest race of the year.
Yeah.
And they reference themselves, the thieves, as Ocean's 7-Eleven.
That's funny.
It's a little more, more downgraded.
Yeah, that's
but
funny.
it is a great, great, great caper movie.
You had a good factoid there, Biggie.
I was sure
ready
if you
to
heard
pounce.
that.
I was ready to pounce. And I was ready to say, I've already heard that because I felt like I knew Ocean's 11 well, but you got me on that factoid. I'll have to raise you.
Wow. What an environment you've nurtured here.
Yeah.
Prove yourself or get out.
Prove yourself.
Get
on
out.
Your factoids.
I like that he's even listed behind in the actors on the IMDb. He's listed as far behind dog track gambler.
Right.
What?
Yeah,
He said he wanted to be on the very bottom.
He was.
Here's a factoid for you. It may not be as good. This has to do with our government because we're getting ready to get into this, which Biggie and I really was shocked by it. A claim made by a Bush administration official. She made it on a podcast. I also read, here's my factoid. During the Cold War, our government considered but never put into place a plan to mark a bunch of extra-large condoms as medium and then drop them onto the Soviet Union to make them think that our junk was way bigger than their junk.
I don't hate it.
I like it.
Mental warfare.
That's right.
In the hearts and minds.
All is fair in love and war.
You don't want these swinging dicks coming through your
Boom.
That's right. We
border.
wanted the Russians to know you got nothing in the pants compared to what we've got. Our mediums were going to be marked extra large. How do you like that?
When did they start sizing condoms?
Our extra large are going to be marked medium.
I don't remember any sizing until Magnum came on the market.
Yeah.
Magnum. When I first bought condoms, I bought Magnum just to impress the person that was
At the counter?
At the counter.
Yeah.
And
I have some jujubes and a Snickers and a comb and some Magnums and TV Guide. That's what you did back
Yeah.
then.
I never used them.
And they don't ever just say like small, medium, large. They give them creative names like Magnum. And my favorite is Snug Fit.
Is Snug Fit supposedly a smaller?
I think that's what it's saying is that,
It's not supposed to be more pleasurable for
I
you.
thought that's what it was supposed to be.
well, I think they market as that, but it's also, I think, meant as like,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Because
For the less ample gentleman?
Yeah.
All right. The first time I rolled one on, I thought it left a lot of room at the bottom. I was like, come on. They're not. I just thought to myself, geez, do I not measure up?
Yeah.
But
Well, and especially now the problem is, I guess this is Titillation Tuesday.
it is.
My algorithm on my Instagram Reels is all crazy right now. It's recipes and porn stars talking about their experiences on set.
It's pretty good.
And one girl that I saw interviewed, she had just had her first gangbang.
Well, it happens.
Yeah. And this is and by the
Never
way,
forget your first.
No. And by the way, this is a very serious interview they're having too.
Who's doing the interviewing, Biggie?
Some guy on a podcast,
Okay.
and he's because she's a well-known performer, and he's like, "Why did you wait so long to do this? Your fans were clamoring for it." And she's like, "Well, I had to make sure,
The right chemistry?
yes, mentally," and she said, "and physically," and she said, "Because in the porn industry, every penis is giant."
Right.
And she's like, "So I had to mentally be prepared to take giant penises."
Oh.
And she said, because she said jokingly, not really jokingly, I don't think, she said, just once I want to walk on set and everyone there is a normal size.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
She's like, that never happens, though, in the porn world. So, of course, now people think when you look at porn, that's all the normal size, this giant.
Yeah. Well, you remember what happened when we interviewed Alexis Ford.
Who could forget?
It hit me like a thunderbolt when I asked her a simple question, and Alexis Ford, who was a triple X porn
What was
star.
your question, basic? Because that was the day I missed. I had my first colonoscopy. And again, I had the better day.
Yes.
Missing out on meeting Alexis with 3 X's?
Yes.
Alexis Ford?
My question to her.
What's going on?
That's right.
Or what you been up to?
What you been up to?
What's new with you?
It's a great lead question to a porn star. What you doing lately?
I just shot my big interracial anal movie.
Oh.
Ouch.
Well, ask a silly question.
Yeah.
I just shot my first interracial anal.
Oh,
Did she leave you with copies? Because I was not here that day.
No,
did you bring
she
any
didn't.
No,
toys?
she did not. She took her top off. She did.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she was.
that
in
was
it.
always a go-to.
Yeah.
Anytime we had a performer in, why don't you take your top off and show
Turn on the
camera?
webcam. Remember those days?
Oh, yeah.
On the webcam.
I just shot my big interracial anal movie.
The big one.
We Skyped it. We said
No.
we're putting it out there. I got the webcam up. I just read Skype is no more. Skype is gone. Do you remember that? You know what Skype is?
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
We used it for a little while, and when Pat Godwin used to be on, he would come
Oh,
on through
yeah.
Skype.
Yeah.
And it was great. And it was bought by Microsoft many years ago, and they can't make it work.
I think Zoom pretty much took it over.
Does the technology keep evolving, or were they left behind technically, or just marketing wise?
I think it was more marketing than anything.
Yeah, and I think that Zoom became the name you knew during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Exactly. Never heard of
And
Zoom.
that probably was the just wiped Skype out because
But wasn't Skype just one-on-one, whereas Zoom you can get 20 people in a room and
I
have a
think
meeting?
that's part of why Zoom was so big.
Then I think
Yeah.
FaceTime is what knocked it out.
You know, my
FaceTime,
wife,
yeah.
she's in the corporate world.
Mhm.
They use something called Teams.
Yes.
That is big in business.
Better than Zoom?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. They don't use Zoom at all.
Well, Zoom just all of a sudden out of nowhere was something. But I believe Skype was the same thing as FaceTime, and then Apple took it, and it's on your phone,
Done,
so you don't
yeah.
don't need to.
But you can
download
only Apple to Apple, right?
it. Can you?
With FaceTime?
You
guess
can't
that's
do, you can't, if somebody has a Samsung, you can't FaceTime,
You can't
with
FaceTime
them.
them?
No.
Well, so if a friend has a a Samsung, what do you download to do that technology?
Probably there's some other video app you could get.
Yeah, our friends in Virginia. He's Apple, she's Samsung
Yeah.
or Google. She has to send an invite to like a Google Meet,
Well, there's that one
so you
too.
have to
Yeah.
go through that.
Yeah.
Whatever portal.
Like if we ever were sitting here and we're like, let's say hey to Dave.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause Dave has a Samsung.
Can't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
This is Titillation Tuesday, and it goes along with this technology. Word is that AI is transforming the adult entertainment industry. Websites letting users create their own customizable AI-generated porn are booming now. You can have customized videos, audio, virtual companions that are not real that you can interact with. So you can have someone that will talk to you online and do whatever you want them to do, but they're not real. They're all AI, and it's
Sure.
become good enough that it can be done, and people are loving it. There's your promise. That's your
But isn't that
technology.
just too much work?
Apparently, it's easy now. You just tell it what you want, and they
Yeah.
create this thing for you. I never know that world. Of,
So I guarantee
technology.
you would ask you what you're into.
yeah.
So Chris Kelly, you'd be like, I want my hair pulled. I
yeah.
want candle wax poured on me. I like it
but
rough.
But they can't do that. They can't do that, right?
They can talk about
They
it.
just
That's what I
talk
was saying.
about
Yeah,
it.
it would just create a person who,
Would be into that.
yeah. So you're doing your thing, reading
Mhm.
everything you want done. They're saying to you.
And she says it
Yeah.
to me, and will actually even answer my question. Some have partners that can remember things from the previous segment, and will say it back to you, like, "Hey, Daddy, you still want your hair pulled?"
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say it to you like that.
You
Yeah,
get
I
that wax
do.
out of your belly button, Daddy?
Yeah.
Mhm. Remember
What?
last time, Daddy?
Remember you pulled the
Mhm.
condom off and your pubes came with it?
It's another problem with condoms. It's another big problem with condoms.
Is that part of the reason men shave?
the first?
Mhm.
Maybe first time I rolled one on. When you take it off, it's terrible. I never knew that was.
You
a thing
need
for-
to practice.
You need, yes.
You need to practice.
I never knew that was a thing with other people. That was real for me.
Yeah.
A friend of mine in college, he was always telling me great sex stories, but he told me he put one on inside out once, and it did a number on him. And I didn't even know there was.
Well, he probably got the lube side wrong.
That's right. He got the lube side
Yeah.
down, and it created a terrible.
Big stud. What an idiot. And you believed it.
Well, that's what he told me.
That I believe. That's probably
That's
the most
probably a
believable
real
sex
one.
story of
That's
all.
probably a real one. Yeah. that he rolled it on backwards.
You're supposed to hold the tip.
Yeah, the lube created a real
Yeah.
issue for him. He got it backwards somehow, and
Mhm.
it rolled on, and then he said it was a terrible issue.